So we're going to talk about hydration. I'm Kate, I'm a personal trainer, and hydration is something that's so important for our bodies to function well. We don't really think about it. It's kind of something that, we know that we should be drinking lots of water. We know that we need to stay hydrated, but sometimes it's actually hard to know how. How do we stay hydrated? So the first thing to consider is, in a way, what is hydration? And hydration is ensuring that your body is functioning to the best of its abilities, because we are essentially also made up of water. So our organs need it, our blood system needs it in order to function properly. Your brain needs it. So if you're dehydrated, you'll start to notice that your whole cognitive system just starts to get a little bit less focused. It's like that time, maybe in 4 o'clock slump, as it's called, where you start to just feel a little bit like you need something. Often it might be that you just need a glass of water, and it can be a bit tricky sometimes to fit in water to our lives. I know that for some, water is not seen as a particularly exciting drink. So it's a way of finding, it's an idea of finding ways to incorporate water into your life without it feeling like a chore. So for men, you want to be looking, generally it's recommended at about 2.5 litres of water a day, and for women about 2, but that's before any physical activity. So if you are going to the gym, if you're working out a lot, if you're doing a lot of walking, if you're cycling to work, you're going to need more water. So the best way to monitor this is actually by the colour of your urine. So if your urine is a darker orange colour, it means you need to drink more water. It means you need to stay hydrated, because it's the best indication of how hydrated you are. So the lighter your urine becomes, the more hydrated you are. So often in the morning you might notice that it's a darker colour than in the evening, and that's pretty normal. If you're noticing that it's really dark every single morning, you might want to look at drinking more water throughout your day, especially perhaps in the evening. So don't drink too much, because I know a lot of people don't like doing that because it means that they need to get up in the middle of the night. But just make sure that you're increasing your water intake throughout the day. This is another good way as well to stay active at work. So you can either have a glass or some form of maybe like a water bottle that you're using to refill and keep a track of how much you're drinking. So it means that every hour, for example, maybe you set a little reminder on your phone, oh, I need to go and get another drink of water. It means it's going to get you up as well. It's going to get everything flushing through your system. And it just means that you're going to be mindful of the fact that maybe you're not drinking so much. And this is so true as well in the summer. So in the summer, obviously, the weather's a bit warmer, the tubes are warmer, everything's just that little bit hotter. You're going to need to drink more water because your body is using more of it. So just make sure, be mindful, be aware of how many glasses of water you're drinking a day. So it's 2 litres for women-ish, 2.5 for men. So it's between about 6 to 10 glasses of water a day. And a good way to do it as well is to have a glass as soon as you wake up. And water filters are really great because it filters and adds extra minerals to the waters that we need, that are stripped out when the waters are processed. So that's the main thing, is to make sure that you're getting that base level of water intake. Now, we can get water from other foods and drinks. So vegetables like lettuce and cucumber, celery have a higher water content than others. And likewise with certain foods, you'll be getting water from those. So you are getting water through that, but the best way for a tangible kind of response with your water intake and awareness with your water intake is to really be mindful of how much you're drinking throughout the day. And just remember that things like tea and coffee can be, well, they can dehydrate you, they're diuretic, which means that they make you go to the loo more. So you want to be ensuring that if you are drinking tea or coffee, maybe you've got that glass of water to go alongside with you. The other thing to remember is that things like fruit juices and stuff like that are actually going to potentially dehydrate your body, because your body's going to need more water to process the sugar. So just be aware of that. And if you're going for anything like a squash, go for a sugar-free, so that you're not increasing sugar levels in your body, which is going to start this whole cycle of highs and lows with your energy levels. A slice of lemon, a slice of lime, maybe a little bit of fresh mint, a bit of cucumber, ways of making your water more exciting basically to drink are a good way of to make it feel like you're enjoying your water. It doesn't feel like a chore, and that's going to give you more energy. It's going to make you feel more alert. It's also just going to be really good for your body to be flushing out all the toxins. The other thing to remember is that when you sweat, you lose electrolytes. So these are minerals in our body that we sweat out. So things like sodium, stuff like that. So salt, when you're sweating out a lot of salt. And everyone has different levels of, how much they sweat. So if you are a heavy sweater, you want to be really mindful that you're replacing those electrolytes that you lose when you sweat. You want to be replacing your sodium, your magnesium, your potassium. These electrolytes are what help your body to function effectively. So a good source of electrolytes, you can use have coconut water, which has got a really good level of potassium in it. It's also got a natural level of sugar, which is, if you're sweating and using up that energy, that's actually also okay to keep your body in a nice balance. But you can also make your own. So a really simple way of making your own electrolyte drink is to take some water, is to squeeze a lemon or a lime into it. Lemons are best. And then use something like a maple syrup or a really good quality honey, so a teaspoon of that, a good sprinkling of something like a Himalayan rock salt, which has got loads of vitamins and minerals in it. Swirl that all up, and that's your natural electrolyte drink. So you want to avoid too many things like Lucozade, which are packed full of sugar and stuff like that. Look at natural alternatives, because these will also help you with this energy slump and dip that you can get if you're not hydrated, if you then start reaching for sugars because you feel like you need more energy, when in fact your body just might need more water. So do be aware of all these things. You want to be drinking lots of water, 6 to 10 glasses a day, or 2 to 2.5 litres. If you exercise, I would take that up to maybe 3 or 4 litres of water. You want to make sure you're replacing your electrolytes. You want to make sure that you're staying hydrated throughout the whole day to keep your body in a nice equilibrium, and that you're keeping an eye also on the colour of your urine to be aware of how hydrated you are. And just experiment with it. Make sure you're drinking enough water. It will keep you hydrated.